welcome to the cockpit. My name's Ryan and I'll be your pilot tonight. What's up, boys? I apologize for the delay. I was like 20 feet in the air, flying. No, almost flying. I had to paint some shutters on the second story of our house, and I'm not the biggest. Like, I could do heights. Like, I've skydived. I've like done a whole bunch of stuff like that. Ladders, second story, not so fun. not a big fan of that. All right. You guys like the intro? That's my buddy Rory making me a nice intro like that. He's a good dude. All right, we're going to do this the same way we do it every week. We're going to start call-ins at 8:30. Before then, I'm going to talk to the chat a little bit. I'm going to give my little monologue on everything that's gone on, mainly from the Jets side of the Dolphins trade and the 49ers and Eagles trades. So something we'll get to take a look at. Mitt Flair, Manny, Roman, Trey 25, Wild Wave, Jerry, Jeffrey R, Liberal Irishman, King Blaze, Scott Wilson, Christian, Travis B, Jeffrey. What's up, boys? Jets by Jimmy. What's good, brother? Jerome's in here. All right. I'm excited for you guys and excited for everything that we get to talk about tonight. I want to hear your reactions to the trade going on down in Miami and everything that entails. But before that, you guys know what I got to do. We got to pay some bills. So, the NFL draft season is upon us. It's possible you might have Trevor Lawrence's haircut in your pants. That's why our partners at Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming, have partnered with us to make sure you don't gamble on shaving your balls the same way you gamble on football. For all my draft geeks, we have an exclusive 20% off promo code JetsTalk at manscaped.com. Get yourself 20% off plus free shipping. All right, enough talking about my green beans. And on to the topics. Joe dropping in with the super chat says, keeping Sam and drafting Wilson is so jet-like. Oh, I don't expect that to happen. I don't expect that. All right. So we're talking trade. The Dolphins trade out of number 3, fall all the way back to pick 12 with the San Francisco 49ers, basically taking the 49ers out of the Sam Darnold sweepstakes. They give up 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick, so their 12th overall this year, first and third-round picks next year, and a first-round pick the year after that. When you're talking about the next move, the Dolphins jump up to the Philadelphia pick up at 6. They give up the number 12 pick, their 2022 first-round pick, and I believe it was it pick 156? It was something like that. It was another pick thrown in there. So they're jumping up to 6. They're banking on the fact that they're going to get their choice of any of the top playmakers. Because if you're looking at the draft now, you got Trevor Lawrence going 1 to the Jaguars. Zack Wilson likely going 2 to the Jets. You have the 49ers, who, from what I have heard, decided not to attend Justin Fields' pro day and are instead attending Mac Jones. That pro day. Interesting. So Mac Jones may be going 3. 4, you have Atlanta. That's where I think Justin Fields is going to end up going. So that's 4 quarterbacks in the first 4 picks. Then you have Cincinnati at 5. They're taking Penei Sewell. Not even going to be a doubt. Not a doubt in my mind. That leaves the Dolphins sitting at number 6 with their choice of Kyle Pitts, Jamar Chase, Devin... what am I talking about? Smith and Waddle. God, I'm all over the place right now. So they're going to get their choice of any of the elite wide receiver weapon prospects in this draft. So I like what Miami's doing. I don't like it from a Jet fan perspective, but I do like from a tactical standpoint what they're doing. Now, there were rumors that the Eagles tried to trade up to number 3. They were going to go up to number 3 with the Dolphins initially. But they heard that Zack Wilson was going number 2. They want Zack Wilson. They wanted him at number 3. So I'm dead set on the thought process that the Jets are going Wilson at 2. I think there's just way too much smoke to this fire. I think it's absolutely going to happen. Then we just sort of see what happens from there. What does it mean for Sam Darnold? I see some guys like Joe S. saying keeping Sam and drafting Wilson is so Jet-like. I don't expect that to happen. I think that Sam... I'll say this. I think Sam is the type of player that is such a good soldier that if we did do that to him, which I hope we don't, but if we did do that to him where we held on to him until the preseason training camp time, the same way that Bradford was held on to after the Eagles drafted Carson Wentz, I think the Jets could do it. Now, you probably don't play him much, or you play him very sparingly, making him look as good as possible, because you're just hoping for an injury at that point from another team, not from us. I don't know what compensation would have to be offered for me to feel okay with that. Like, is it a 3rd-round pick? Like, are you okay getting a 3rd-round pick and just moving on from Sam? Like, I'm kind of at that point where I'm all right. If it's less than a 3rd, I'm definitely saying no. Like, I'll hold on to Sam at that point and just roll the dice. See what happens. Because worst case scenario, Sam starts the season, you don't throw Wilson into the fire. Maybe Sam plays all year, and you figure out you have a good quarterback. You franchise tag him at the end of the year, and you trade him then. That's possible as well. And then Wilson could come in the second year with way more assets because of everything we've just surrounded him this year, plus all the picks next year. So there is some sort of logic behind that, I guess. I just don't think... I think when you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have any quarterbacks. And that's a really, really risky venture for the New York Jets. Like, I think you're risking the locker room's integrity if you hold on to Sam, because you're going to have guys that are all for keeping Sam, and you're going to have guys that are all for moving on with Wilson. So I think you have to trade Sam, and I think the Jets will ultimately get a 2nd-round pick. I think someone will get that. There was I don't want to say an unverified source, but a very shaky source that I did see. This is coming from... Who is this coming from? Dan Silo. Silio? Don't know how to pronounce that. Verified on Twitter. Says the Broncos and Jets are trying to work out a deal for Jets quarterback Sam Darnold. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if that's legit. It's the only place I've seen it written down, tweeted out. So maybe he's just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks. You guys are saying Sam and pick 23 for pick number 9. Not happening. Triple. I would love that, but not happening. Who's even picking at number 9? Now I gotta see who's at number 9, because I do not know offhand. This whole draft has thrown me for a loop. Number 9. Oh, it's Denver. Okay, so I see what you're saying. I would do that. If that would get us all the way up there, that would be friggin' awesome. Shanahan scheme worked great with RG3, says Scott Wilson. Mumtaz, brother, dropping in with a super chat, says, I don't like the idea of Sam and Wilson on the same team. It will mess up both. Roll with Wilson and develop the right way. We don't have the luxury of time. Yeah, you don't roll into the season with both quarterbacks. That said, Sam's not the type of quarterback to me where I would be concerned about his mentality. Or maybe not his mentality, but worried about, forming a toxic relationship. I think just from a player perspective, you want to just move on and just do what's right for him, because Douglas seems to have done that in a pretty good fashion. They released Bell, even though it was to the detriment of us. They traded, who was it? McClendon went to the Bucks in a trade. Avery Williamson went to the Steelers in a trade. So he's sending guys to good teams. He's not just throwing them out with the bathwater or sacrificing them, with the exception of May. May's on the franchise tag. But Mumtaz, yes, I agree. I don't think you bring Sam back with Wilson. I think you draft Wilson, never look back, and just move full force forward. Craig, my brother, dropping in with a super chat, says, do you think Carolina trades for Sam at the draft if a quarterback doesn't drop to them? Maybe Teddy and Sam fight it out. Also, Wilson bought a house in Jersey. Oh, man. See, that's just it. Like, everyone's expecting Wilson to go 2 overall. It's just everything that's happened this year, everything that we've seen. If he's looking for a house in Jersey, I think there was a house down the road from me that was for sale. He can come on the show. Come on. Wall Street Wilson. Let's do it. Could be Jets talk with a way better looking guy than me. I'm kidding. Mr. Tuda says we're taking Lance. Do I think Carolina will trade for Sam if a quarterback doesn't drop to them? I could see it because Matt Rule wanted to be the coach of the New York Jets with Sam Darnold. So the Carolina thing makes a lot of sense to me. What would they have? They'd probably just give up their second round pick, I'd imagine. But I don't know what it is off the top of my head. So they have pick 39. I would take pick 39 for Sam Darnold. Hands down. If you had to go back one more round, you'd have to be looking at pick 73. That would be a little bit of a kick in the balls. Maybe it's a third round pick and a conditional pick based on how he plays. It's possible. I don't love it, but it's possible. All right. We are going to go to the phone lines in just a minute. So make sure you get your dialing fingers ready. What are you guys saying in the chat? Nothing says, do you like Goff on the Lions? I don't mind Goff on the Lions. I think it's a calculated risk, and I think they have enough draft picks in the future where if it doesn't work out, they have plenty of assets to go get a guy next year. They're not in position to really get a guy anyway. If they like a quarterback that falls to them, they don't have to force the quarterback this year. They can force the quarterback next year if things kind of fall sideways. John Nolte, my brother. Ryan, got the shirt I won. Thanks, bud. You should do a shirt with your logo and URL. I could totally do a shirt with my logo. I do have a logo shirt that's like a little logo and then a big logo on the back. That's not a great shirt, really. I was thinking about doing like a cockpit logo, maybe a chicken flying across the back of the shirt, somewhere along those lines. E-Rock says his value is down the drain now. All the spots are basically full. Makes me sick to go with a fourth for him. But thanks, Mac, for sucking at life. E-Rock, if we're offered a fourth for Sam and that's all we could get, I won't trade him. It doesn't make any sense. Hold on to him. I don't care about the locker room chemistry. Everyone knows if you make the pick of Wilson at 2, Wilson's going to be the quarterback. Or maybe it lights a fire under Sam and then you trade Wilson away for a whole bunch of picks. There's a bunch of teams that want him. Lots of things we could talk about. Lots of things. Everyone's upset at Mike McCagnon. All right. Let me go over to the Google Voice. Wow. You guys are already calling in. I haven't even switched over to Google Voice yet. It's because I have my Gmail open. That's what it is. All right. Let me take away... Is it this one? Yeah, take away that. And we're going to go... Where's the phone number? Phone number is on the screen, boys and girls. Call in. Talk to me. I want to hear your thoughts on everything going on with this trade. DJ Sin says, I'm laughing. You keep both and get your worth. You keep both and laugh your worth. Yes, I would keep both if we're offered a fourth. You cannot let Sam go for a fourth round pick. That is bad GM. not okay.
Call from
Ben.
Ben, what's up, brother? How you doing tonight?
You know, I was having a good day in the morning. I was playing some Madden. I was rebuilding the Jetson franchise, and then I look at Jets Twitter, and you know how they post that mock draft Monday every time.
Oh yeah. What'd they have?
So
I didn't watch it.
I look and I see Bucky Brooks mock draft. They have us taking Penei Sewell at 2 and Travis Etienne at 22. 23.
I would go on an infant punching rampage if that happened. I'd be so mad.
Oh my
I like
God.
Penei Sewell, but I would not like Penei Sewell at 2.
Penei Sewell might be the last guy. That's probably the worst case. That's literally worst case scenario. That doesn't even, honestly, we're leaving the draft with the same amount of holes that we came in with.
Well, that's just it. That's what happens if you take Penei Sewell. It's like, okay, I don't consider right tackle a missing piece to this puzzle right now, but I think that I like Penei Sewell. I like the prospect. Everyone says he's one of the highest graded linemen to ever come out. I wouldn't hate it, but I just no, scratch that. I would hate that. I'd be so pissed if we took Penei Sewell at 2 because you're moving him to right tackle, or you're moving back to right tackle, one or the other.
This is the same thing that happened with Orlando Brown in Baltimore. He wanted to play left tackle. He got moved to right tackle, and now he wants out because he wants to play left tackle, and the Ravens aren't going to let him.
Yeah, he wants left tackle money. No one wants to play right tackle and get right tackle money. The only team that I've seen really pay big money for a right tackle, aside from I guess Cleveland with Conklin last year, was the Eagles. The Eagles paid Lane Johnson, and yeah. And they had Jason Peters on the left side, and they drafted Andre Dillard. So there's sort of precedent for Douglas to do that, but I don't see that happening. I think it's going to be the quarterback all
I don't
day.
think it makes sense. Well, going back to the Wilson talk. Oh man, and I was watching the podcast for Matt O'Leary today, and I just saw him go on the whole tangent about him. He's so mad about all the people who were tweeting him. The Lewis Riddick tweet about Sam Darnold made the same crossbody throw that Zack Wilson did at the pro day. But it's not the same throw. It's the same style of throw, but Wilson was 20, 30 yards down the field. And that's the big difference between Wilson and Sam for me. Wilson's throw power is just insane compared to Darnold. That's the thing that I didn't like about Darnold coming out of USC. He felt like he can make plays under pressure, he can extend the play, he can throw on the run, but this kid did not have a deep ball. Zack Wilson does have a deep ball.
Yeah. Well, that's for me the biggest issue, and it's why I wasn't so I wanted Robbie Anderson to stay with the Jets, but I wasn't so beat up because Sam couldn't get him the ball anyway. And we saw it again this year with Rashad Perriman. And as soon as Flacco comes in, Perriman gets 3 touchdowns. He gets half of his stats for the year in 3 games with Flacco. So
and Mims had his best games with Flacco. That Patriots game, that was his best game in my opinion, and the Chargers game.
Yes, I think if we have a new quarterback in Wilson, you're adding the talent that we added in free agency. You're adding all the talent you're going to add in the draft. Now, it may not all come together this year, but I do think next year with an additional free agents, another draft class, everyone growing from it'll be year 2, 3 for a lot of Joe Douglas's draft picks. I think we'll be in a really good position. And even just swapping, imagine. Do you remember all the plays that we saw with Joe Blewett with Sam Darnold just missing wide open guys, running wild? They're there.
It's hard to watch, honestly, man. I love this. It just felt like he went back to his rookie days. It looks like he made strides in year 2 under Adam Gase. I don't know how he did it under Adam Gase's first year, but his second year with Gase and his third year in the league, he just went back to those same rookie mistakes. So some of the stuff, it was almost as sad as him throwing the pick 6 on his first day of his career.
Oh yeah, that's exactly. How big of a kick in the balls is it that we see Sam Darnold throw a pick 6 the first throw of his career, and then it's really that's how it's gonna go. But then he winds up playing and we win that game, and then I'm so upset because I really, really backed Sam Darnold. I was all about it after year 1.
So did I.
I thought we had him. I thought we had the franchise quarterback. I firmly believe the Adam Gase hire was the nail in the coffin. Whatever shot Sam had at being a franchise quarterback died with that hiring.
So sad, man. So sad.
Brother, thank you so much for calling in. You have been ejected from the cockpit. Anthony Thomas, thank you for the super chat. Says, would Atlanta want to give up arms and legs to get up to number 2? Is that something that could be worth a 2-spot jump? If they're willing to give up a ton, and the Jets don't want to take Wilson, yeah, sure. But I would say the Jets are sitting at 2. They're taking Wilson. They're not going to trade down and they're not going to, take whatever quarterback falls at 4. Everyone loves trading down. The idea of getting all these draft picks is very sexy. I get it. I get that a lot of people like that, but it's just not the right move when you have a franchise quarterback sitting there and you need one. Just make the correct pick, take the quarterback, and move on. What else we got going on? Mumtaz. I'm trying to. Can you guys see Mumtaz's super chat? I think you can. Yeah, there it is. All right. Sorry, my second monitor just went black, so I'm jumping around right now. Mumtaz says, how is non-quarterback talk still happening for the number 2 pick? Mumtaz, you and me both are about to, just go on a rampage, because if the Jets take a non-quarterback at 2, it's the most egregious thing that could possibly happen. Did you see how many draft picks it just took the 49ers to get up to number 3? That's my biggest issue. If you run it back with Sam Darnold, for all you Sam Darnold truthers and believers out there, it's not that I don't like Sam Darnold. It's that if we run it back with Sam, we're going to wind up in that 10 to 14 type slot, and now all of a sudden we're going to have to give up all the draft picks that we were all hyped up on and chubbed up about, that we traded down this year and got all these draft picks. Next year, for 10, 11, 12, 13, somewhere in there, you got to give up all your draft picks just to get all the way up into the top 3. And that's if those teams want to trade out of those picks. The Jaguars and the Jets, not trading out of those picks. Miami, very lucky they drafted their franchise quarterback last year and that they're willing to take all the picks. There's no guarantee that's how it's going to play out next year for the Jets. Make the selection, take Wilson at 2, don't take a non-quarterback, and then surround him with tons and tons of draft assets after that. Who knows? If Russell Wilson somehow gets traded at some point, the Jets could potentially be looking at a top 10 pick from that Seattle pick. That would be incredible. And then you trade down from that next year.
Wagner.
And then you just keep accumulating tons. What's good, brother? How you doing tonight? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's going on, Ryan? I appreciate the show, man. Thanks for taking time out of your day to do this for us.
Of course, dude. Thank you so much for, hanging out and just tuning in.
No, absolutely.
I'm ranting out of camera. I'm just happy people are listening.
No, reason for calling in is, look, I love Zack Wilson. I love Justin Fields, either one. But, I mean, what would you say to someone who's just, not sold on Wilson? Is there anything reassuring you can say? You watch film. I guess you can digest it better than me, for example. Is there anything reassuring that you see as opposed to, Fields? So
the reassuring thing for me, the Wilson Fields thing, I'm blown away that Fields is getting, I don't want to say as much hate, but I thought he was clearly one of the top 3 quarterbacks, and the fact that the 49ers are going to Mac Jones's pro day and not, not Justin Fields, that has me a little concerned. So maybe I'm not as good a judge of character, not character, but of tape that I would like to believe I am. I think Fields is I've said it before, a 6'3" version of Russell Wilson. But apparently the NFL doesn't necessarily feel that way. As far as Zack Wilson goes, I'm not concerned about his height anymore. That was a concern when I was watching him and Fields. I was like, there's no way this guy's the same height. But now I've seen him in pictures next to other quarterbacks that we actually know their heights, and he's definitely. Yeah. I think he's close to that 6'3" mark. I do think he's a little light. But I think he's got that sort of shortstop mentality and type of throw to him. He knows how to get the ball out of his hand real quick. His release is so fast. It's way faster than Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence kind of has like a wind-up. And I'll say this, for all Jet fans that are concerned about Wilson, I won't say at least, but he would go number 1 if Trevor Lawrence wasn't in this draft. Trevor Lawrence is being hyped up to be the generational prospect, and there is going to be so much pressure on this guy going number 1 overall. Zack Wilson, falling to number 2. He's coming to the New York market, which is going to create its own pressure. But could you imagine if the Jets had the number 1 overall pick, and now all of a sudden you have, pressure and everything? There's going to be a lot less pressure on Zack Wilson than there would be.
Yeah. All he has to do is Sam, and he's good.
Yeah, and that's just it. When you look at Wilson too, on tape, the guy's got a missile for an arm. He can absolutely throw the ball down the field with accuracy. That's been the biggest issue with Sam, and the reason why the Jets offense hasn't really taken that next step forward. Now, I would like to see. I'm excited to see him in this particular offense too, because I think this offense, like even if we were to say run it back with Sam, I think this offense would highlight a lot of Sam's good
100%.
parts to his game. Now, I am concerned with Wilson because, like people have brought up before, the strength of schedule. He's throwing to a lot of wide open guys. He's got like I think all his offensive linemen were like 26 years old, so like they're just way bigger than everyone else.
But I mean, I saw something where like Ohio State. I mean, isn't like the regular season? Don't they just pick like kind of like cupcakes, just get like the record up, or not at all?
Yeah,
You know
no,
what I
it's. I mean, it's true. It's definitely true. But I think
I
when
thought
you
Love
look
with
at
Wilson when he
BYU,
out-dueled Lawrence. I mean, that was a huge game. But I guess ever since that, he's just kind of fallen. I don't know why.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, the national championship game I think left a sour taste in a lot of people's mouths because I think he was playing hurt. And he just didn't look like the same quarterback. But Alabama's like a loaded team. They had the best offensive line.
Yeah.
You got the best running back. You got the best wide receivers. You got the best defense.
Best coach, everything.
Best coach. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, like, you got to take that game with a grain of salt. And I could see Fields being the quarterback like a Lamar Jackson that gets overlooked. Or like a Watson that falls to, pick 11 or 12 or whatever. Like, I could see Fields having a lot of success because he's going to go to a better team because he's fallen further down the board.
That is true. Like, Carolina's loaded, and they have Joe Brady, so it's just a matter of just getting that guy. If he falls to 8, I mean, I doubt it.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens with the Carolina situation because to me, they seem like they're really desperate.
Yeah. Could he kill his comp? Like, I think Fields' pro day is tomorrow. I mean, could he kill it and revive some draft stock? I mean, I don't know. Like, I kind of want Fields, man. I feel like we're overthinking it. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. That's tough. I don't know.
Whatever. To me, there's nothing that should happen at a pro day that should move a prospect up or down a board.
That's true.
You look at Sam Darnold. He had that amazing pro day at USC where he's throwing in the rain, and then look how that turned out. So pro days aren't everything. That's what we got to remember. Bro, thanks so much for the call. You have been ejected from the cockpit. Ali, I see you. Let me see if I can get you on here before someone else calls in. Bam. Ali, I'm giving you a call right now. So, check it. Get some conversation going.
Hello?
Ali, what's up, brother? How you doing tonight?
I'm good, bro. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Talk to me. How you feeling about all this trades? For those of you guys that don't know, this is Ali from Loyal NY Jets fans. Make sure you check him out. You'll see his little blue mod status in the chat over on the side there. Ali, how you feeling about all the trade situation, the Zack Wilson Pro Day? What's going on through your mind?
I mean, my head's about to explode any minute now. I mean, like, I can't believe we have one more month of all this talking about the same thing over and over. But obviously, first of all, the Zack Wilson day on Thursday, that trade happened. That was crazy, right? Literally a minute before the pro day started, which was nuts. I thought it was fake for a while, and then Zack Wilson just lit it up. I mean, I know he's in shorts. I know he's not really throwing like with any defenders or anything like that. But man, that man can throw. And a lot of people are calling a lot of fans bandwagoners and stuff like that, and he's not talented, his schedule, blah, blah, blah. But you can't take away the fact that he is a talented, gifted thrower. He knows how to move around the pocket. He goes through his reads. There's a lot of drop passes, so you can tell about the talent that was around him, which was not great. But, I wouldn't mind him taking that too. Like, I do not mind it at all. And I think that's what the team is trying to do, is trying to just draft a quarterback, get Sam Darnold out of there. But, yeah, I mean, if the Jets are like Zack Wilson is it, let's get it done.
Now, do you think there is any shot that the Jets decide to run it back with Sam at this point, or you think it's totally done at this point?
I mean, it looks tough. It really, really looks tough. I just don't see any scenario of keeping him. I know that we saw like this by someone on Twitter, I forgot who it was, who said that we might keep him and grab the quarterback, and I'm just that's just a locker room killer right there. And like that was never in my mind. And I think one team like in the next few weeks is gonna want him. No matter what it is, just get rid of him. And if he's not your quarterback and you don't want to room with him, then you trade him. You trade him for sure because it's a waste of time for Stan Darnold. It's a waste of time for us. So just move on, get a new chapter started, and Salah gets his quarterback.
Now, do you think that, like, is there a threshold for you? Like I've said, if I don't get at least a third-round pick for Sam, I would hold on to him. I know it's not great for the locker room, and I think we will get at least that for him. But is there some type of threshold where you would be like, okay, no, I'm going to hold on to Sam? Like, that's just too low of a pick.
Yeah, honestly, if it's like a fourth-round pick, I would not take it below that.
Mm-hmm.
But the one thing I was saying today in my live stream with Richie and Jack, that if we keep him during training camp somehow and then some quarterback goes down for another team, the Jets could trade him during that time too. If they decide and they can't find a partner in the next week or so, in the next couple of weeks, they could find a trade partner in training camp because you never know. Injuries go down the hill. I mean, Texans, who knows what's going on with Deshaun Watson? Maybe they trade him there. They might need a quarterback. You never know. So, I would keep him if it's not better than a third-round pick because I do think Sam Darnold is still talented if he has the right talent around him and the right coaching around him. Obviously, he didn't have that for 3 years. So, I mean, he can add a fresh start, and he still has untapped talent. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But if it's a fourth-round pick, I would just keep him and see if they can trade him later, like Jamal Adams type trade.
So talk to me. How are you feeling about the trade between the Dolphins, the 49ers, and the Eagles? Where do you think they go with their draft picks now? And there was rumors that the Eagles tried to get up to number 3, but they had the feeling that Zack Wilson wasn't going to be there, and that's why they did not make the move. And that's why the whole Dolphins to 12 and then 12 to 6, why that all happened. So where do you think those teams go with their picks?
I mean, look, for the Jets' perspective, I mean, the Dolphins, first of all, they know what the hell they're doing. They know they have a plan, and they're executing it perfectly. And Jets fans should be scared of that because the entire AFC East is getting their crap together, literally, besides the Jets. Mm-hmm. We obviously can get our crap together if we make the right picks this year and then following years, but I feel like every AFC team is doing what they can to be competitive, and the Jets need to get upstream because if they can, this might be the toughest division in the league. I mean, if the Jets can somehow get back into the groove of things. With the Dolphins, I mean, they might go like tight end. I feel like if they get picked in that offense with Tua, get another weapon for him, I mean, that would be a lethal offense, and that would be a good target for a young quarterback. And for San Francisco, I don't know. I think Trey Lance or Mac Jones is one of the picks there. I don't think it's going to be Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones is a little bit of a reach there. But that's a Shanahan type quarterback, Mac Jones. But I feel like Trey Lance would be there, and that would be the pick there because I don't know. Justin Fields might fall a little bit. Obviously, there's pro days tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. But I think Trey Lance might be the pick at 3.
Yeah, when I'm looking at the 49ers, I'm thinking it's got to be either Trey Lance or Mac Jones. I heard rumors that they are not going to the Justin Fields Pro Day and they are attending Mac Jones's Pro Day. So that, to me, at least tells me that Fields is off the table for the 49ers. Now, what do you think the Eagles are looking at, pick 12? Do they have anything in mind? Are they going to try and, I don't know. I would think they were going to go for a weapon.
Yeah, maybe a wideout. Get some weapons for Jalen Hurts. Depending on who's available. I don't know where Jamar Chase is gonna go. Probably the top 7. But I can see Sewell actually dropping, honestly, because I see there's a lot of talented positions, skill position players in this draft, and I think a lot of them might get selected before Sewell. And I think he might actually drop. And so, I mean, they do need linemen. as well to protect their quarterbacks. I mean, if they want to go after linemen, they can. But I don't know what they want to do. I think they're probably going to go on the offensive side probably, and either grab a weapon or just protect Hurts.
I think now. So you mentioned Sewell possibly falling. I could see that to an extent. I think if the Bengals weren't at number 5, like I feel like he's like a lock to go to the Bengals, unless they go Slater. I mean, it's. I have heard people like Slater more than Sewell because Sewell took the year off. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know. Are you concerned about any players that have taken a year off? Like, would you knock them down on your board? Guys that I've talked about, Joe Tryon, Kenny Gainwell, those guys opted out. So it may not, I don't know where they fall in terms of their like power rankings.
I hope Gainwell falls so the Jets can draft him, but I don't really think it really matters. Obviously, if they're in the pro days, they do pretty well, and like in workouts they look well. I think it's not a big of a problem, especially for teams. Obviously, the season was condensed as well and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's not a huge deal for me. Obviously, for some positions it is. I'm more concerned about a lot of people who have injuries and stuff, and see where they're at in the injury. I mean, Justin Fields I think is hurt a little bit, and Zack Wilson's also a little bit hurt. That's why he didn't do a 40. So all those concerns come up, but I mean, it doesn't really downgrade from anything. So yeah, I'm not too stressed about that.
Real quick before I let you go, what do you believe that Zack Wilson actually had a hamstring injury, or do you think he was not going to show anything that could potentially damage his draft stock?
I don't think he would fake that. I really don't. I really don't. I mean, he's shown enough on tape. He's shown enough. He showed his arm strength. He showed all his tools of becoming a future franchise quarterback, not Hall of Fame quarterback. And that's all he needs to do. He needs to show off his arm strength. He needs to show that he can move around the pocket, and he did. Obviously, a little display of drop passes showed his BYU days of people dropping his passes too, but he somehow was able to play really well in this league. I mean, I don't think we're going to go wrong with either Fields or Wilson, but I think Wilson's just a better fit. I think Wilson will be able to handle the media a little bit more. Obviously, the character issues a little bit much is a question mark. Is he going to bring the leadership? As like Sam Donald has already had leadership and respect in the locker room, is he going to have the same thing in New York? We don't know that. Obviously, people are saying, all his teammates are saying it's fine and he's good, but we still don't know that. People can change, obviously, so it's still a risk there. But overall, talent-wise, I think Wilson will be the pick at number 2.
I love it. Ali, thank you so much for calling in. I'm going to get some more callers. You have been ejected from the cockpit.
You're out of here!
Chicken flying across the screen. That is Ali from Loyal NY Jet Fans. Boys and girls, make sure you check him out. He does a live stream with Richie over at Jets Media and Jack every Monday before this stream. So you can check them out for all your Jet-related passions and questions and everything like that. Joe, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, Ryan, how you doing?
I'm hanging in there. I want to get your thoughts about this whole trade situation that went down the other day and the Zack Wilson rumors and news. Talk to me, brother.
Well, Zack Wilson, like I told you, remember I always compare him to Ken Stabler, a right-handed version, or a modern-day version of Aaron Rodgers 2.0. I was impressed. I don't put a lot of stock sometimes into the pro days because, like Sam Donald, for instance, had a good pro day.
Yep.
Actually, great pro day. And, look what he's turned out to be so far, which I still believe one day he could turn it around. I think he has enough talent to maybe become a good quarterback. I don't know if he'll ever be great. But anyway, make a long story short, I was really impressed with his throws. I mean, this kid he was so effortless. And that last throw, when he went to his left side across the field, was like almost 60 yards, right?
It was like a 60-yard bomb. Oh, my God. It was wild. Like, my brother sent me so I had to work during the pro day, so I only caught glimpses of it, and then when I'm laying in bed, my brother sends me the whole, every throw that he made. So I was like, all right, cool. It was like a 25-minute video or something like that, and I sit down, I'm watching, I'm like, all right, that's a nice throw. All right, that's pretty good. That one's good. And then that one pops up, and I'm like, oh damn, he's a lock for number 2. Like that was hot. Whew.
Yeah, look at Trevor Lawrence when he tweeted, "Sheesh."
Oh yeah, that's what. Now, do you think? How often is the number 1 quarterback taken in a draft the best quarterback? Like it doesn't always happen that way. Trevor Lawrence gonna be a lock to go number 1. What do you think the chances are the Jets get the best quarterback at number 2? That's exactly what I think. Just I don't even know. Sigh.
You know what? I feel that Zack Wilson is going to be better than Trevor Lawrence. I always tell you that. But I think it's a 50-50 shot. You know, I think Trevor Lawrence is the real deal. I think he's going to be good. Is he a generational quarterback? Possibly. I think he's like Andrew Luck caliber, maybe more mobile. I think that's the sky for him. You know, Justin Hubert, possibly. Maybe the sky for him, like, along those lines. But this kid, Wilson, I really do, man. I think this kid is very reminiscent of Aaron Rodgers. But, you know, that's maybe me just being biased, being that, you know, we have the number 2 pick.
I hope he is every bit as good as Aaron Rodgers. I'll take half as good. Half as good would put us, like, our best franchise quarterback ever. Like, I love Namath, but, man, we'll break fourth.
Yeah.
I bet the first year we get, if we have Wilson, the first year he plays a full season, let's call it 16 games, not even the full 17 that might happen. I think he'll break all our passing records. Now, I guess 14 would be the one. 14 games would have to be.
I think he will, man.
Like
He'll definitely throw over 4,000 yards if he, you know, has the right tools around him.
Oh, especially, I'm a big fan of the Corey Davis signing. I'm a big fan of Mims. I like Crowder, and I like Keelan Cole. I think our wide receiver core, sneaky deep.
Well, who do you think they're going to go with in Ryan? Who do you think they're going to go with the second first-round pick? Think it's going to be a corner or a receiver? What do you think?
I would say no shot it's a receiver. I don't think it's going to be a receiver. I know Crowder and Keelan Cole are both on a 1-year deal, but I don't think that's where Douglas is going to go. I think if we take the quarterback at 2, if Elijah Vera Tucker is there, I think he's the pick. If J.C. Horn is there, I could see him being the pick. I think those are the 2 guys that I'm really looking at there. Edge rusher, in the off chance that Kwity Paye falls or Rousseau or one of those guys, I could see an edge rusher, but I think adding Vinny Curry and Lawson, it may push our need of edge rusher down to like the second round with one of the picks that we have. You know, we have the second round pick we currently have at 34, and then potentially whatever pick we get for Sam. So I'll say corner or guard is going to be the pick at 23. It's just a matter of what presents the best value.
You know, I think you're right. And I know they signed Coleman from the 49ers, but I think that kid from Clemson, that running back, would be pretty cool, man, to get him.
Etienne? I really like Etienne. I don't see any way Douglas takes a running back in the first round.
Yeah,
we've kind of seen like how he operates, and it's just not. That doesn't seem like it's in the cards for him. Joe, thank you so much for calling in. You have been ejected from the cockpit. You got 2 chickens. You got 2 chickens flying across the screen right there. Because I hit the wrong button. Oh, jeez. Double ejected. Boys and girls, I see the chat flying. This is going to be, it kills me that like every stream I do, I want to talk about the trade and how everything's going down. And the only thing we can talk about as Jet fans is the Sam Darnold, the Zack Wilson situation, the number 2 pick. It's all we wind up talking about. I saw the comments in the last live stream I did. They're like, man, everyone we do is a Sam Darnold thing.
Trey.
What's good, brother? How you doing tonight?
What's happening, bro? I'm good. And yourself?
I'm trying to hang in there. I'm losing my mind talking about Zack Wilson and Sam Darnold nonstop, but it's okay. What's on your mind? Talk to me. How are you feeling about the trade? You know, the pro day, all that good stuff.
Well, how I feel about the trade, I feel like Miami is definitely about their business. Like, so we need to definitely hit on some of these picks because they got a lot of picks as well. And I feel like San Francisco is probably going to end up taking Mac Jones. But I really feel like that move is daring us. It's like, if y'all don't take Zack Wilson, we going to take him. So that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I heard there was rumors that the 49ers didn't even try to talk to the Jets at number 2. Like, they knew that the Jets weren't trading out of it.
I feel like they did talk, but like since our organizations are now we kind of like, you know, we I don't want to say we one and the same, but like we kind of tight that they decided to keep those talks, like, you know, keep them between themselves. But I feel like it would only make sense to, you know, ask the Jets, because it's like if you know what's going on with us in our quarterback situation, you would definitely be like, okay, let me do my due diligence on those guys and see if they want to trade that number 2 pick.
Yeah, to me, it sort of speaks to the idea of, like, the 49ers knowing what the Jets are going to do. Like they had conversations and they figured out, okay, Wilson's going 2. We can move up to number 3. We know who we're going to take at number 3. They had to be comfortable enough. Just like the Jets, when the Jets traded up to get Sam Darnold so far ahead, it was almost, I mean, it's within the same week, right? Like, so what was it? That trade happened on, what was it, Friday, I think? So that was the 20. Well, no, I'm saying the Sam Darnold one happened on March 17th, 2018. So the 49ers trade up to 3 happened like a week later than the Sam Darnold trade. So the Jets had to be okay with the potential of the, you know, Baker going 1, Sam Darnold going 2. Who are you taking at number 3? It could have been Rosen. That would have been horrible. So the 49ers, for me, have to be good with all 3 quarterbacks, or at least 3 quarterbacks, to move up to number 3.
I feel like they're gonna pick Mac because Justin Fields is kind of he's a real project, bro. Like, I feel like quarterbacks from Ohio State and like USC, I don't know if the quarterback coaches, like, what they coaching them guys, but those guys never pan out. Like, I couldn't tell you, maybe Carson Palmer, but besides that, I mean, who else? I don't know an Ohio State quarterback in the past 20 years that got drafted and made a splash in the league. They had Cardell Jones was supposed to be that. Dwayne Haskins threw 50 touchdowns in 14 games.
That's what I hate the thought process of, like, this school doesn't produce quarterbacks, but it's exactly what's happening. Like, the Ohio State quarterbacks. I don't know if it's the Ohio State quarterbacks thing or if it's just a Justin Fields thing. Like, maybe people don't like him. The guy's been second fiddle to Trevor Lawrence his entire career because they both came out of Georgia. So he won MVP at the quarterback camp that him and Lawrence were both at. Like, it kind of boggles my mind that he's getting as much, like, shade thrown his way.
That was in high school, though, bro. Like, I pay attention. I watch a lot of Chris Sims because Chris Sims is a pretty knowledgeable guy when it comes to quarterback. And
dude, he's dialed in.
Yeah, he pretty much says something that, like, I watch. There's a guy on YouTube. He puts all the throws of all the quarterbacks. They be like an hour, 2 hour long. I don't watch Justin Fields, and one thing I could take away from him is, like, there's times where he'll get really reckless with the ball. It's like his lows are, like, really, really low. It's like, why the hell did you throw that type lows? Like, and you don't really see that too much with all the other quarterbacks. It's only with Justin Fields, though. I don't know. I like him, but
dude, I want no turnover-prone mistake type guy. Like, there's gonna be faster defenders and everything. So, like, those mistakes in college are going to amplify. And I know he didn't have a whole lot of turnovers, but, like, if he's throwing those terrifying passes, it's gonna bite him in the ass.
Bro, if he runs a 4.3 at this pro day,
boom! You've been ejected from the cockpit. I know where you were going with that, brother. He was saying if he runs a 4.3 at his pro day, it's going to look real interesting. 4.3 for a quarterback is stupid fast.
Call from
Peter.
Peter, what's up, brother? How you doing tonight?
Ryan, how you doing, brother?
Just another day in paradise, just ranting about my Jets and doing housework and all that good stuff. So talk to me. What's on your mind?
Well, what's on my mind is after watching Zack Wilson's pro day, I truly feel like that's our guy right there. I'm not trying to jinx it, but I got a good feeling.
Yeah, it feels a lot based on okay, LaFleur was there, Saleh was there, Douglas was there. You're watching him talk. You see the little clip of Douglas talking to Wilson and Wilson smiling, and now he's looking to buy a house in Jersey. There's no way this dude's not going to be a Jet.
Exactly, especially if you're buying a house in Jersey.
Yeah, dude, this feels very much like the Andrew Luck RG3 draft where everyone knew, way ahead of time. Luck was going 1, RG3 was going 2. Now it feels like it's a lock. Lawrence is going 1, Wilson is going 2. It doesn't seem like it's even it doesn't feel like there's much discussion anymore.
Pretty much isn't. But you know what? Whatever happens, happens. I'll be satisfied.
Yeah, I trust Joe Douglas. I trust this regime. I think based on the free agent moves that he's made, the draft picks he's made in the past, and I know people are oh, is it time to put the heat on Douglas? I don't agree with that at all. I think he knows what he's doing, and he's doing it the right way.
I'm not going to lie to you. I was pissed off at first until I started to see who he's bringing in the building, and he's investing our money correctly and not overpaying for anybody,
Yeah, that's just it. Football is the biggest team game in professional sports, and to blow your load on a $16 million a year guard was not in the books. Not to mention that $16 million a year for Tooney was what the Chiefs, the Super Bowl reigning, Chiefs, got him for. What do you think the Jets were going to have to pay? Jets were going to have to pay $18 million a year, and that's just banana land.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? At the same time, he was a top 5 guard in free agency, so I couldn't argue with that. But I get.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. I wanted him badly. I was sour on Joe Douglas when we didn't get interior offensive line help because that was the biggest position in need, in my opinion.
Well, now what I feel like is going to happen since we couldn't get Tooney, I feel like with the number 23 pick in the draft, something tells me we're going to draft Wyatt Davis.
Yeah, I think guard is happening at either 23 or 34. I think cornerback's probably high up there as well. It's just a matter of who's going to be there at 23 and how we sort of prioritize it there. I would be surprised if we took anyone other than a cornerback or a guard at 23. If they pull a rabbit out of the hat and we get a receiver or a running back, I'd be like, what just happened? It would make no sense to me.
I mean, if we lose a top 3 guard in the draft, all hope is not lost, and with the 34th pick in the draft, I would take Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah, I like Asante Samuel Jr. a lot. I've talked to some people on the Jet forums that are like, oh yeah, no, there's no way he makes it to 34. I was like, well, what are you talking about? Literally every mock draft site and every scouting department thing where I watch big boards has him somewhere between 26th and 50th overall. So I think he's definitely more than likely going to be there at pick 34. I'm hoping J.C. Horn is there at 23. That's the player I think I really want because I'm assuming Elijah Vera Tucker's probably not making it that far. Then at 34, I'd probably look at either Wyatt Davis, Creed Humphrey, some type of guard. Edge rusher is still going to be a need. I don't think edge rusher at 23 is going to make sense unless Kwity Paye is there, and I don't see him falling that far.
Yeah, they said Kwity Paye might fall earlier than that.
Yeah, I think he's going to go – he'll be close to the top 10. I think because all the quarterbacks are going to go, I see him landing somewhere in the 10 to 15 range. He may not get past the Giants. The Giants getting Kenny Golladay opens them up for either offensive line or edge rusher, in my opinion.
I feel like it's probably going to be edge rusher for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, how did you feel about the Dolphins trade? I got 20 seconds.
Man, I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. I really wasn't expecting that because, they needed something. I thought they were going to go after Penny Sewell, but it's not happening now.
Yeah, they felt like they were going to trade out to me. I just thought it was going to be closer to the draft at this point once the Jets kind of decided what they were going to do. But, brother, thank you so much for calling in. You have been ejected. from the cockpit. The internet says Creed Humphrey is the best center in the draft. It would make more sense to take him than the third best guard or tackle. I like the idea of Creed Humphrey at 34 if they deem him worthy of that pick because, like you said, center's more important than guard. You could kick McGovern over if you wanted to, and not to mention center guard can kind of transition. A lot of guys that have played center play guard as well.
To accept, press.
Mudviles, what's up, brother? How you doing tonight?
What's up, Ryan? How are you?
I'm hanging in there. We had, a wild last 4 days. Trades, pro day. Where are you falling on all this stuff?
Right now it's crazy, yo. The whole trade that happened, I was not even expecting it.
Mm-hmm. Dude, I was expecting Miami to trade out. I didn't expect the 49ers to come up. I thought it was going to be the Panthers or the even the Falcons moving up one slot. I did not see someone from outside the top 10 coming up.
Yeah, but with Jimmy G's health problems, what do you expect? That's at least the way I look at it because at least hold on a second, right now, my friend's coming in. Why are you throwing at me? Go.
Andrew Whitman in the chat says, what a dumpster fire. My brother helped me fix my car, and I'm a big old bad dumb car owner because guess who was 2 quarts low on his WRX? This guy was.
Ooh.
Yeah, not good. Not good. I feel like a big old dummy. Sorry. Go on.
Let me answer this. Is Zack Wilson's at 2? Who do you think we're getting at 23?
I think it's going to be a corner or a guard. I don't think it's going to be edge rusher because edge rusher is still a need. It's still a big need. And I would actually prefer 23 to be cornerback over guard. And I would even prioritize edge at 34 because I think there's going to be some decent guards that fall a little bit further. And I think if you're trading Sam Darnold and you can get a second-round pick, if you can get a second-round pick for Sam, it makes it a lot easier because then you pull in, let's say you get J.C. Horn at 23, the cornerback, fabulous zone cornerback out of South Carolina. Then you have pick 34. Maybe that's where you go Patrick Jones or Creed Humphrey, and then vice versa for, pick, let's call it 39 or whatever you get from the Sam Darnold trade.
Yeah, when it comes to Patrick Jones, I would wait on that till at least the third round because I'd done a couple mocks though, and I'd seen him fall all the way to the mid-third round. That's how they were to snag him. But I hope Elijah Very Tuck is there though at 23.
Yeah, that's who I would like. I know Matt's really high on him. Interior offensive line is a huge need, especially for a young quarterback. I want this line shored up, and I don't want to roll it back with a third-round guard and just hope that he's going to be the answer there. I don't know if I see Vera Tucker falling to 23. That's more so and I don't know if I see J.C. Horn. So if both those guys are gone, I guess I'm looking. There's got to be a cornerback there, I would think. What was that?
If Matt Jones went number 1 and Trevor Lawrence and Zack Wilson were at 2, which one do you take?
That is a tough one. So you're saying if someone else went at 1 and it was Wilson or
Trevor and Zach, who do you take? I saw someone, I think it was Anthony though, who wrote it in chat.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I saw that though. I'm like, let me answer this. It's gonna be a very hard question. I feel like
it's a tough question. I think it's got to be Trevor Lawrence because of the sample size that you've gotten from him versus Zack Wilson. That said, if you are just head over heels for Zack Wilson, don't go crazy. Don't overthink it. Just take the guy you love. I think Trevor Lawrence is if you look at all the teams across the NFL, there's maybe 5 or less than 10 teams that would not take Trevor Lawrence if they had the number 1 overall pick. So if he fell to 2, I would think that would have to be the pick if you're the New York Jets.
I know I got picks right now, but last 2.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was doing a couple of mocks, I saw Kyle hit all to 14 or 19 I saw. So Mel Kiper saying take him at 2, not a fan of it. And the other one?
Not happening. I'd be so mad. You trade down and you want to take him, okay, fine. But tight ends getting drafted that high tend to not work out.
Not at all. But I'll let you go, bro. I know you got more stuff to do. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, dude. Thank you so much for hanging out. Thank you so much for all the super chats. You're absolutely way too generous. And thank you so much for calling in, brother. I'll see you tomorrow. You have been ejected from the cockpit. All right. What we got going on in the chat? No cornerback in the first. Please stop, says A. Mitch. Why wouldn't you want a cornerback in the first? We only have Bryce Hall right now. You got to get a cornerback. At least with one of your top 3 picks, I would like, not 2, but one of your next 3 picks after that.
Call from
Jay.
Jay, what's up, dude? Welcome to the cockpit. Jay?
Yeah,
You
hey,
there?
what's going on? Sorry about that. Yeah, can you hear me?
What's up, dude? How you doing?
What's up, buddy? How are you, man? I'm a big fan.
I'm
man.
glad. What's on your mind? You thinking a little Zack Wilson action? How you feeling about the trade that we saw?
Listen, man, and excuse my harshness or whatever, man, but these fans that are focused on Sam Darnold, man, it's really starting to frustrate me when I go online and I see them talking about, he's had a bad coach, he's been surrounded by a bad team, and I'm like, have you not watched him play? Have you not watched Joe Flacco outplay him with the same team? You're talking about when you look at the games that Joe Flacco played, and I know he wasn't the greatest, but, we potentially could have won one of the games. You feel like they just kind of threw it away. They won the loss when he threw that deep pass. And I just watch these fans. It's just frustrating. I'm like, dude, it's time to move on. Get over it. He's not the answer. He is not the answer.
Well, that's what kills me. Everyone's playing with their heart because Sam is a good guy. Every interview you have, he says all the right things. He is if you could have that mentality in like any player, it's you want that in your quarterback. It's just the play has not backed it up.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest. He's played like the 32nd worst like the 32nd ranked quarterback for the last 3 years. Now his rookie year was his shining star, but that's like 3 years ago at this point. We don't even know if he's even going to come close to that.
Yeah, and I'm over that whole, he's a nice guy. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't give a shit anymore. Move on from the guy. He's a nice guy. He could be a nice guy somewhere else. That's awesome. I'm about winning games, man. I've been a fan my entire life, man. And unfortunately, like you, a good season is like so far in between. And I'm over the whole, he's a nice guy. That's cool. That doesn't mean anything. I'm past that. I want Zack Wilson, a cornerback at 23, some interior line help at 34. And then I say just start getting some offensive weapons. I know you mentioned not getting running back so early, but I really think if we can land a real high power running back, which I think we can, I say go for it and let's go, man. I'm just over this whole Sam Darnold shit. It angers me. I read and I'm just like, oh my god. Then I hear like Mel talking about draft this guy at 2, and I'm like, this guy's full of shit. Like people still, I'm over it. I know I might sound a little mean, but I'm just, I've seen enough.
You mentioned running back early. Are you thinking like ETN, Najee Harris early, or are you thinking like
no?
Second, third?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I was a little upset with Joe Douglas, just a little. With all the cap space that we had and the holes that we have in the team, and I'm like, we saved all this money for what? Like to be extremely aggressive and to take control and get these high power players, because we do have a young team, so we do need some of these veterans who are studs to come in, and they're going to cost a lot more than usual because we are the Jets, and that's something that we just have to face at the end of the day. So if we would have signed like a Tooney or somebody like that, I would have loved getting like a Najee Harris or Travis Etienne, because those guys, man, they're going to make life so much easier for Zack Wilson. And then I like that. I wouldn't mind getting a running back there early. I know a lot of people are completely against it. Majority of people are completely against it, but I wouldn't mind getting like I watch Najee Harris, and I'm just watching him. You're like, holy shit! Can you imagine him? Can you imagine defenses or defense corners planning? You know, you got Zack Wilson who has a great arm. We have these we have these wide receivers. We have Mims, we have Davis, and then they're also playing for somebody like Najee Harris. It's just gonna be they're gonna be fucked, and that's kind of what I wanted. And we'll see. Yeah.
I like Najee and I like ETN. I don't endorse taking either one of them at 23. If they fall to 34, that would be the earliest I would consider it, but I don't see Joe Douglas doing it.
I agree.
I think Gainwell in the third is like someone I've been like preaching for a long time. I'm a big fan of Kenny Gainwell.
And because of you, honestly, I started doing some research on him because I heard you talk about him a few times.
I love it. Brother, you've been ejected from the cockpit. Oh, God. I just, mid-sentence, just ruthless. Just, bam! Get the hell out of here. Thank you for the call, brother. Who we got?
Vinny.
Vinny, what's good, brother? How you doing tonight?
Oh, finally I get through.
It's been a while. How you doing?
I'm doing good, you know.
Talk to me. How you feeling about the Zack Wilson Pro Day? How you feeling about the Miami, San Francisco Eagles trades?
I'm feeling good, you know. I'm feeling Wilson's gonna. I think it's all but set in stone that Wilson's a Jet. The moves the Eagles and the Niners made, who have direct ties to the Jets, only strengthened my opinion on that. The one thing I have noticed is the Darnold truthers are starting to become a bit unhinged from reality.
Mm-hmm. I can see. That's just it. Like, I don't see them. Go on. Sorry, I keep cutting you off.
So no, what I see is like just like the basic facts about the reason why we want to. It's like they just think that we just hate him for some reason. Like, we'll point out the basic fact is he's often injured. He's inconsistent. The Jets are in a rare position to draft. Also, his contract is up, and then the 2022 quarterback class is incredibly weak. So these are all the reasons why we want to move on from Sam and draft Zack Wilson. And they don't want to accept any of that.
My biggest fear with Zack Wilson is the like knee-jerk reaction of like, okay, we need a quarterback, and then you had the limited season this year. Like, that's, to me, I can't get over that. Like, that, if there's any argument to hold on to Sam, it's the whole shortened COVID season. I don't know. I don't see any way that they hold on to Sam. I think it's a lock. Wilson is number 2. But if there was any doubt, that would be the one thing that I think I would be like a little concerned with.
But the one thing I fear with Wilson is that some of these Darnold troopers just won't be able to accept it. And they're just gonna bash this kid for the little tic-tac stuff that are generally just chalked up for, rookie growing pains. And I won't be surprised if we're gonna see like these Darnold truthers just come out with, Sam, Zach never, Sam forever, or hashtag not my quarterback.
Oh yeah, well that's just it. You're gonna see that like nonsense. People love arguing, and a lot of people like I see it mostly on Facebook when I post stuff, and like people start commenting, and it's like, man, you definitely don't know a whole lot. It's like, come on.
Every time I comment on a YouTube video, there's this guy. I'm not gonna say his name, but he's just so unhinged. It's like
I have one guy that is just very upset with me all the time in the chat, or not, maybe not in the chat, but it's always in the comment section, and I usually just drop a little heart or something if I see it.
Oh, and who?
I'd have to look. It's something with an N, I think, is his last name. It's like a funky sort of name. I'd have to go back and look. I don't like pay that much attention to it.
I met this guy is on YouTube called Joe Capiscano or something.
Oh, is that the Giants guy?
No, this is some. No, I don't know who he is, but he's basically saying the Jets are waiting for some mega deal from Carolina. But like, I don't see Carolina making a move. I don't see them because, like, San Francisco can afford to make that deal because they're a more established team. Carolina's still building, so as much as they want to trade up for a quarterback, they can't throw that kind of cash down, if you know what I mean.
Well, so here's the thought process with the whole Carolina thing, and I think that's probably there's a few thought processes, and I brought it up in the video that I released today, and it's the idea that the Jets did not want to fall back to 12 because they could not get an elite weapon for Sam Darnold if they were to trade down. So that's if you trade down to 8, if Carolina offers you a massive haul of picks and they say, I don't think it's going to happen, but if you were to do that, then you assume first pick, second pick, third pick are all quarterbacks. I would think the fourth pick could be Justin Fields. I don't know what other direction Atlanta goes in. Maybe it's Penei Sewell. Who knows? You got to think Penei Sewell goes.
Tackle at 5, and then something.
Tackle's got to go 5.
Off at 6 and 7, and then you get somebody.
Yep, exactly. So you're going to have your pick of 2 of the 4 elite weapons. I think when it's going to be Waddle, Smith, Chase, or Pitts. 2 of those 4 would be available at the Carolina pick.
Like I said, I just don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna be able to get, because what San Francisco gave was massive, and I think that's gonna make everybody a bit more gun shy right now.
But if you get 3 firsts from Carolina, they're not like San Francisco. You're getting a way better set of picks from Carolina. Vinny, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. Trey Yu says trade up for Elijah Vera Tucker. I don't see it happening. I don't see Douglas trading up at all. But I do like Elijah Vera Tucker. Maybe there's something to the, a little concern as to what the Jets could potentially do in free agency. We didn't get the guards there. Now maybe there's something to push the Jets up. Now, if you wanted to trade maybe Sam, like if you're only getting like a 4th round pick as an option for Sam, if you could do pick 23 and Sam and move up a little bit to get someone like a J.C. Horn, like an Elijah Vera Tucker, I'm all about it, because the trade up to get a guy you want is worth more than the guy you would have drafted in the 4th round. At least to me. Maybe that's not how Joe Douglas is going to see it, but I would. That's how I would handle the not getting great value from Sam, because I think in a trade like that, you can argue like if Elijah Vera Tucker or J.C. Horn is there at 19 with Washington, tell me right now they're not taking Sam Darnold and our 1st round pick to fall back just a little bit. Just a little bit. I could see them doing it. I could see the Bears doing it. That's where I think the trade up could happen. I don't think it's going to happen at any other point. Because I think if I could see Joe Douglas trading down, just accumulating more picks. I really could. It depends who falls to 23 and who's on the board, because there's some guys we really need. But there's also guys that are going to want to come up, and they want that 1st round pick. Who are we picking? Who's in front of us? Or who's in front of us? Who's behind us? Behind us right now, after 23, you got Pittsburgh 24, Jacksonville 25, Cleveland 26. What would those teams be looking for? Because that's who you're trying to jump up. Does Baltimore at 27 want to come up and leapfrog their 2 division rivals with their former, scout in Joe Douglas? The connection's strong with the Baltimore and the Jets. Do they make a move to come up? It's possible. It's possible. You never know. I could see the Jets going up. I would say the Jets going up to the Washington or Chicago pick. Those are the 2 landing spots I could see the Jets move up to if they were to trade Sam Darnold. Now, what would that look like from a trade value chart? Let's see what that is. So to make a jump from 23 to 19, 23 is 760 points. So you're basically saying it's 125 points, which is the equivalent of a late 3rd round pick to get up to Washington. So that basically puts you right where I was saying for a Sam Darnold value. Late 3rd, potentially, if they thought it might go in the 4th. I like it. I could get on board with that. Scott Wilson says, we'll never win a Super Bowl with Sam, Shanahan, and McVay. Or Shanahan and McVay both went to the dance with mid-tier quarterbacks and can't wait to trade them. That's just it. You're not banking on Sam Darnold becoming... It's not, will he be a good quarterback? He might be a good quarterback. You need him to be a great quarterback to stick with him. That's why Zack Wilson is so favorable.
Goodbye.
What's good, brother? Well, oh, no. Sorry. It kicked you off. Scott, that was a great point. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I think that's exactly why we will go quarterback at number 2, rather than rolling the dice with Sam. Because I will agree with the Sam truthers that the fastest way to turn this thing around is Sam Darnold clicking and it all coming back together, and you trade down from 2 and you get all these picks and all this other stuff. That is the fastest way for it to happen. It just happens to be the least likely way to make it happen. Because you're not, like I said, you're not asking Sam to be a top 15 quarterback. You're saying like top 10 easy. And he's got to do it this year. I don't see it happening. Kyle Lawrence, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, hear me out. Trade the 34th pick to San Francisco for Eric Armstead, similar to what Indy did for the DeForest Buckner trade. If we did that, then we could have a top 10 defensive line. I would trade the 34th pick for a bunch of different players in areas of need. Pass rusher is one of them. Marshawn Lattimore, even though he was arrested, would be another player that I would consider in an area of need. I know Green Bean said it. Him and I have been going back and forth on this nonstop since Joe Douglas started accumulating late picks. We have said the Jets are going to wheel and deal these late round picks for proven players on bad contracts. And it may not happen come draft time. It may actually happen come, post-draft. So there's a lot that could happen. A whole lot that could happen. Let me pull up the Google Voice again. Guys, we've got a half hour left in the stream. Make sure you drop a like on the video. We've got just over 100 likes. We've got over 300 people in here. It really helps the channel if you do it. It doesn't cost you anything either. You don't have to super chat. Just drop a like. Put a little hi in the chat. I glance over at it. I look. I see it. I may not say it, but I chuckle. KSE says 34 for guard. Lattimore is tainted. Maybe. What else you guys talking about? Darnold needs 85 Bears or Madden Ultimate Team. Oh, God. I wish Sam the best, but I don't know. 5011 says my goal is 150 likes. I hope so. Look at the power of the Ryans. Ask. What does that mean? Look at the power of the Ryans. Who's the Ryans? Matt Ryan? Your pilot Ryan? I don't know. Jamie says, I love watching Impractical Jokers. I've actually met the guys from Impractical Jokers a few times. I used to work over at Mountain Creek, and they'd do things over there occasionally. Pretty funny guys. I actually got to meet Jim Gaffigan, too. He's funny as hell. He comes in, he's like, oh, you need rentals? He's just like, oh, how many? Or I asked him, how many? He's just like, well, I came in with 5 kids, but I only got 4 now, so I guess I only need 4. I'm like, where's your other kid? What happened? I like Gaffigan. Gaffigan's a good guy. Jets home opener prediction, says Joshua. I'm assuming it's going to be Jets-Bills. That's just kind of like what they sort of hand the Jets each week or each year. I could see Jets-Jags, though. Jets-Jags opening day. Trevor Lawrence versus Zack Wilson, 1 versus 2. I could see the NFL pushing that narrative.
Call from
Marty Thompson.
What's good, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
G'day, mate. How you doing?
How you doing? How you feeling about the Zack Wilson Pro Day, and how you feeling about the whole trade that happened the other day?
Finally, the Aussie Jet gets to speak to his favorite Jet fan.
What?
Finally, the Aussie Jet gets to speak to his favorite Jet fan.
Dude, your accent is absolutely amazing, and I apologize every time you leave a comment. I say, like, you have to read this upside down or something like stupid like that.
Yes, the toilets do go the other way down under.
Yeah, right? It's the gravity. Is that actually a thing? Do they actually go the different way? Because I heard hurricanes and those sorts of things do that as well.
Yeah, the Super Bowl goes a different way.
That's wild. So talk to me.
Listen, I want to put some thoughts out there. What about this Zach situation? He's amazing. I'm phenomenally freaked out by him. I've got a man crush on the guy already. But what
Dude,
what
he
would
is
you
so
think?
attractive looking. Like, he's just the prettiest person to look at. He looks like a young Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh,
I,
mate, he's going to be the new poster child for the Jets. He's going to be
dude, he's like, he's gonna be the heartthrob. You pull him up, and like every girl's gonna be like, I love the Jets quarterback. He's so pretty. It's not like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold kind of looks like a thumb. At least that's what my friends tell me he looks like.
He does. Yeah, I know. Well, I got to tell you, mate. I gotta love your show. I love what you do. I love your output that you put out there for the Jets. I'm a big, huge Jets fan. But what are your thoughts on this? I got a gut feeling there might be a shock in the future. I got a gut feeling that Jacksonville may end up taking Zach, and we end up with the other guy from Clemson. What are your thoughts on that?
I would be very, very happy with Trevor Lawrence, especially after everything that we had to go through the entire season. Now, I will say this. I've been amping myself up on Zack Wilson since the season ended, and it almost feels very much like the Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield draft, where I was Broadway Baker all the way up to the draft, and then he gets taken 1 overall, and I'm just heartbroken, and I'm like, oh, Sam's going to go 2. What's going to happen to the Jets at 3? At least we're sitting at 2 where we're getting one of those 2 guys. Like, I think the Jets are in a great situation either way now.
We call it an each-way bet. You're going to win either way.
Yeah. Now, who would you are you in the mindset of like, I really want Wilson now? Would you of be upset with getting Trevor, or would you be happy with Trevor too?
Mate, the cards are going to fall the way they're going to fall. No use getting upset because the Jets. They can always never see some agent. But I do love Zack Wilson. I reckon we've got to start a new nickname for him. We've got to call him the Rocket Arm.
Ooh, I like it. There's going to be so many, like, we're going to have Wall Street Wilson shirts. We're going to have, like, I don't know. He almost looks like, have you ever seen the Wall Street Bets guy, like, on the little icon for the subreddit for Wall Street Bets? Zack Wilson looks exactly like that character.
Mate, he's such a pretty boy, isn't he?
He really is. I mean, I love it from a Jets fan perspective because now you'll get, like, girls and other people excited about the Jets. Like, how often are people, like, genuinely excited about the Jets? You have to be winning for people to be excited about the Jets, or you have to be just, like, one of us sad fans that have been stuck with the team forever that are just,
I mean, the last time I was excited about the Jets was when Rex Ryan was hanging around, but then before that was when Pennington was playing good football. But I've got to tell you, I'm really excited about where it's situated. I think the Aussie Jet here is going crazy over the whole thing. I'm happy to be a part of the big support group.
Dude, I love it. And you got to make sure you're hanging out with us on draft night. Me, O'Leary, and Green Bean are going to be talking all the draft stuff. We can't wait. I love draft time. It's like my favorite time of year. What was that?
I'll be hanging around like a bad bloody smell, mate.
I love it. I love it, dude. We're going to be giving away stuff the whole time. It's going to be just a lot of fun. The last year's stream for like the first, second, and third day, I was so shot after that, but it was probably the most fun I've had doing stream. Like, I mean, I have fun doing these streams every night, but the draft stream was just a whole nother level of fun.
Oh, mate, it's going to be a great night. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to pull out the bourbon, the Jack Daniel's Tennessee whiskey, and I'll be all over like a buzzer on a shit wagon.
I love it, Aussie Jet. You have been ejected from the cockpit. A buzzard on it. I don't even know what he's talking about. All those down under slang terms. I love it. Aussie Jet hanging in there. Calling all the way from the other side of the planet. God, I didn't want to like eject him because his accent was just so intriguing. I love the accent. A little tough to read sometimes or hear it. But I got it. I deciphered it.
Call from
Lawrence.
Lawrence, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you feeling tonight? What do you want to talk about?
I'm feeling great, man. One thing that just has me kind of worried here, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people are probably worried too, is that I see Sam Darnold here,
and I see him making throws, and I remember his pro day was in the rain. I remember watching him going like, oh my God, this guy's amazing, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched Zack Wilson, obviously, last week, and he looked amazing too. So it's like, I'm just wondering if maybe we are kind of prematurely getting away from Sam Darnold. But also I watched last season, and I'm like, this guy doesn't even know how to not make mistakes.
Dude, that's what kills me is like if we were to roll it back with Sam and he throws a friggin' incompletion on his first throw of the season, the Jet fans are just going to be out in full force. Just boo. All the boo birds coming out. I can't sit through another year of Sam Darnold. I could if he was playing well. If you gave me rookie Sam Darnold again and he had 4 more years left on his rookie contract, by all means, you push forward with him and you roll with that. But not going into year 4 after what we've seen the first 3 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. But like what was suggested today was, what if we kept Darnold and kept Wilson too as well? And I'm like, well, at first I'm like, no, like I would not want to do that. But at the same time, now I'm like thinking like it could be a Teddy Bridgewater situation with when we had Teddy Bridgewater and he played amazing lights out in the preseason. And then after the preseason, we were able to get a trade, decent value for him. I'm wondering like, hey, maybe we can get a situation like that, trade him out, be like, hey, Darnold, you're not our future really, so we're just going to go ahead and let you play out these preseason games, get your trade value up. Because like people are trying to say that we're only going to get a 3rd or 4th round pick for Darnold, which I think value-wise for a, 23-year-old quarterback, I don't know if I'd be okay with that. I would probably want a little bit more, honestly.
So this is something that I talked about with a previous caller, was the idea of possibly holding on to Sam if you couldn't get great trade compensation back. And great meaning like a 2nd round pick. 3rd round pick, probably where I'd still say, okay, I'll take the pick. But if you're talking like late 3rd, early 4th, I would say either not run it back with Sam, but at least hold on to him till training camp, or see if you can utilize Sam plus the 23rd pick to slide up to the Washington pick at 19, the Bears pick at 20, something like that, where it's the value of a late 3rd, but you're getting a player that you covet. So you're not, you're sacrificing whatever player you could have gotten in the late 3rd, 4th round, but you're at least getting a guy you really like.
Yeah, and I understand that too. I'm just really surprised he's not traded by now. I thought that this would have happened weeks ago. And that's where like I'm at. Like I'm like, we're going into the draft. We still have Sam on the roster. It almost seems like Joe Douglas has some type of different plan or alternative motive. So I get why there's certain suggestions saying that we might keep Sam, because there hasn't been much that's been going on as far as getting a deal done. So
well, that's the biggest fear is, and if Joe Douglas cannot get good return back for Sam, it'll be one of the more bigger black eyes that he has on his resume. I think the Robbie Anderson thing is probably looking a little bad right now. I think the James Morgan pick in the 4th round last year, those are the 2 that I would point to and say like, okay, those are not great moves, or we left some out on the table. If we wind up trading Sam for like a 4th round pick, that would just hurt. Now, that said, if you were holding on to him because you wanted to make sure you were dialed in enough to know the quarterback you were getting, then maybe you could sell me on like, okay, I'd rather lose a little value on Sam knowing we are going to definitely get the guy we want than trading Sam and not loving any of the quarterbacks and being stuck without a quarterback.
Yeah, that is true. It's just, like I said, I'm just getting worried. But I'll be at the draft next month, so I'm happy about that.
I love it. Ooh, very cool. I have never been to a draft. I've only gone to like the Jets and Giants draft parties before, and like I want to go in the worst way.
Yeah, I'm excited, man, because I'm getting vaccinated here on Wednesday, and I'm gonna be.
Love it, dude. You're out of here. You've been ejected from the cockpit. I'm hoping to get vaccinated soon. They just, I heard today was the day they opened it for hospitality workers in New Jersey, but I tried to sign up and it didn't seem like that. So I don't know. I've been signed up for a while now. Eddie DeJesus says 2022 NFL Draft will be in Las Vegas. Who's going with me?
Luke.
I'm coming with you.
To accept,
The Las
press
Vegas
1.
Draft.
To send a voicemail.
My buddy's a Raider fan too. He would. Oh no, I hung up on you. I tried to answer. Yeah, dude. Vegas Draft. Real cool. One of the first big events they have in that stadium. That's something where it's like the early enough part of my season where I would love early enough in my golf season. I run a golf course, for those of you that don't know, where I could still go out to Vegas and get. That would be my first time in Vegas too. How cool would that be? I'd be all about
Call
it.
from
Scott.
Scott, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
What's going on, Ryan? How you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Having a lovely Monday night talking to all you goons.
Oh, most definitely, man. All right, so I want to talk about these trades pretty much that happened during the pro day. I've always thought Zack Wilson was going to be our pick. I think the San Francisco trade kind of gave me more reason. But the thing that really tipped it off to me is when the report came out that Philadelphia wanted to get him. And the first thing I thought was, oh, wait, our coaching staff is from San Francisco. Joe Douglas is from Philadelphia. If there are any teams that have intel on who we're going to take, it would be those two. And when those reports come out, I was like, oh, they kind of tipped Joe Douglas' hand right there. We're definitely getting this kid for BYU.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly, when I'm reading those reports, exactly the mindset I had. I was like, okay, the 49ers, more than anything, with the Robert Saleh, Mike LaFleur, I think there's a strong connection there. And then the Eagles connection, while I think that's maybe a little bit weaker, but them knowing that, like, they weren't going to get Zack Wilson at 3. The whole league feels like Wilson is going to. So that, to me, just... it's going to be Wilson. I feel in my heart of hearts it's going to be Wilson as a New York Jet, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if he's going to be a top 10 guy like we need, but it's the NFL, So good coach, good GM, good quarterback, and you have a team. That's what it comes down to. I really like Douglas. We'll see about Saleh. I have a lot of hope for him. This next quarterback, in the system, hopefully he could elevate us, and I think Jets Nation should be really excited, with the leadership we have, whether it's Fields, Wilson. I think it's Wilson, but, we're in a good direction. So I just, all these people with Sam and stuff, it's like, calm down. As long as we win, everybody will be happy.
Yeah, that's just it. If no matter who the pick is, if it's rolling with Sam, if it's Fields, if it's Wilson, if you win a few games next year, it makes all the pain go away. All this stuff that we've seen in the last 3-4 years, 10 years, whatever, basically since we were in the championship game, all that stuff starts to go away once you start winning.
Yep, exactly. All right, man, I just wanted to call in real quick.
I love it, dude.
That's much.
Thank you so much for the call. Take it easy, brother. You've been ejected. You're out of here. From the cockpit. Matt Curtis, my dude, dropping the Highway 77. I like it. What are you guys talking about? You guys talking about your age and climbing trees now? I don't understand. Zach the Ripper sounds like he farts a lot.
Call
I guess
from
you could definitely say that. Luke, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
How you doing, Ryan?
I'm hanging in there. We got 9 minutes left. How you feeling about the whole trade situation? How you feeling about the whole Zack Wilson Pro Day and the Jets possibly taking him? Talk to me.
I'm feeling like I want to take Wilson, but I'm actually interested to see Fields' Pro Day tomorrow. I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it on. I wanna just sort of see. I don't think it's gonna change anything, anyway. How I feel, like I'm very cautious with pro days because of everything we saw from the Sam Darnold one. Like that was probably the most ridiculous pro day that I remember like hearing about. I don't know if you were able to watch it at that point. They may not have had that one actually televised. I don't really remember, but I remember it being in the pouring rain and the guy was just throwing all over the field. But I don't know. We'll see. Is there anything that Justin Fields could do tomorrow that would change your mind away from Zack Wilson?
I don't think so. I mean, like, it's more important to look at the film, look at the games. I think Wilson has played better this year. I still, like, if they took Fields on draft day, I wouldn't be, like, upset, but I think I'm still leaning Wilson.
Yeah, there's just too many good nicknames, right? Like Wall Street Wilson, Zach the Ripper. I don't know. It just rings. What are you going to do with Fields? You got to have something, totally different. It doesn't rhyme.
Yeah.
That is what we know as fans. You have to have a cool nickname. If you don't have a cool nickname, it doesn't even matter. The rest of your career doesn't matter. Got to have a cool nickname. Broadway Joe, perfect. Wall Street Wilson, the sequel. Revis Island is fantastic. So what did you think about the trades? Go for it.
Wait, I was going to say, do you think Brian Poole's going to get retained? Like, I've heard nothing on him.
It has been complete radio silence. And I believe it was Connor Hughes that I saw that said that he didn't think that, or from what he was hearing, that Poole was not coming back. Now, that's disappointing to me because he was one of the best slot corners in the game the last 2 years. So I would like to bring him back. Hopefully they're just kind of kicking it down the road. Maybe no one else is really interested in him, and then we just bring him back for, something around the same contract we had him for last year, maybe a little cheaper if, like, they think he's, a step slower or something. I have no idea.
Nothing. I would love nothing more than week 1 for us to play Jacksonville and Wilson to go absolutely off.
Oh, it would be fantastic. That's what I think the NFL is going to do. I think they're going to do, because the Jags and Jets are playing next year, I think they are going to push the number 1 pick versus the number 2 pick. They'll do it in, some sort of, I don't know if it'll be prime time, but I think that'll be the first game. Even more so than like the Jets-Buffalo games that we've been so used to. I think we saw Jets-Buffalo because of the Allen-Darnold sort of connection more than anything else. Now it feels like, I guess usually week 1 I think they feel like they try to do division rivals, but I think Jacksonville makes a lot of sense for the Jets this year.
You think Sam's going to get traded on draft day, or do you think we're going to hold on to him? Because the teams are shrinking. Honestly, I think Carolina's probably most likely out because I don't see them trading up with Atlanta. They're in the same division. Watson is very uncertain, so I think maybe 39 or whatever their pick is in the second round for Sam. I would do that.
Yeah, I think, to me, Sam to the Panthers for pick 39 feels like it makes the most sense. If that doesn't come to fruition, then I think trying to use Sam as a trade chip to get up to that 19 or 20 pick with Washington or with the Bears, I think that could make a lot of sense as well, because then the Bears aren't necessarily giving up a draft asset. They're just giving up a few slots in terms of where they fall.
At 23, I don't think my top 2 targets would be J.C. Horn and Barrett Tucker, but if those guys aren't there, where would you look to go?
If those 2 are gone, I think it's a little early for Wyatt Davis. It would depend on what edge rushers are there, because I would say edge and corner are the 2 spots I'd like to look at. Caleb Farley, because he's getting back surgery, he may fall, and he's arguably the best cornerback in this draft class with Surtain. You could possibly talk me into him. I don't love the injury, but you could talk me into it. Brother, thank you so much for the call. You've been ejected from the cockpit. Guys, we got 4 minutes left in this stream. Make sure you drop a like on the video. Helps the channel out. Allows people that click on the stream later on to see that it was worth watching and they should have tuned in live. So if you like what I do, if you enjoy it, just drop a like. I know, I don't always like every video that I watch. Every YouTuber tells you to like the video that they watch or that they put out. So you don't have to do it, but it does mean a lot. All right, this looks like it'll be the last caller for the night, so let's see who we get.
Richard.
Richard, what's up, brother? Welcome to the cockpit.
Hey, so I want to talk about the 23rd pick.
All right, fire away.
What do you think about, I don't know, if Vera Tucker or a corner isn't there, the value's not there. What do you think about, I don't know, drafting a linebacker?
I would be pissed if we took a linebacker in the first round. That's like that's like one of the few I would be so mad. Like as much as I think that is going to be a sneaky position of need for the New York Jets. Yeah, well, I think it's going to be a sneaky position of need. Because I think we should take a linebacker no later than the end of the third round. Like I do think we should probably bolster that unit in some capacity, and I think Saleh, being a former linebackers coach, is going to try and push for that in some capacity. I just don't want it to be with our first 3 picks. 2 is a quarterback, and then 23 and 34 should be guard or corner or even edge. You know, I would say maybe even the first 4 picks. I'd be pissed if it happened in one of our first 4 picks.
Well, I just don't know if any. I don't know the guards really. I don't know if any are super valuable besides Vera Tucker. But the corners are interesting. I guess.
The corners, I feel like the corner is more likely at 23 based on the depth and where I've seen guys falling. Guard feels like it's like Elijah Vera Tucker, and then it kind of, I don't want to say it falls off, but it's definitely like I don't see a huge difference from Wyatt Davis to like the next 2 or 3 guys. So I think I'd be okay sliding down to like the 34th pick and taking a guard there. But I think the 5th-year option of cornerback or edge rusher is more valuable to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was just thinking because, I could totally see them drafting a linebacker because I think there's going to be at least one really good linebacker at that point.
Well, that's just it. That's where I fall in like a weird sort of situation because I've always been like, take the best player available, which could definitely be a linebacker. But I think there's something to be said for drafting, not necessarily for your need, but weighing it differently because of your needs. Like we know we need a guard. So I'm more likely to pull the trigger on a guard higher in this draft than maybe the draft value on the board, on the big board, might indicate. Like I would be okay reaching 4, 5, 6, 7 slots on an interior offensive lineman because I know that guy could get plugged in and be a starter. Now, I guess ideally you'd want to trade down and get some value for that type of selection, but I'm okay reaching a little bit on that position because of, taking the quarterback at 2.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just thought it was an interesting thought that could happen.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. Okay. I think you're spot on with the linebacker thing. I just don't think it's happening in the first 2 rounds. I think it's going to I think we will address it. I have a video that I need to put out for Jared Davis because I linked up with my buddy Jay over at Let's Talk Lions, and he gave me the whole rundown on Davis, and I'm feeling pretty comfortable with him right now.
Yeah, I have not heard anything about Jared Davis.
Yeah. I'm working on a set of
for $7 million,
Yeah, it felt like a lot of money. It felt like a random pickup. And what I'm going to try and do is I have a bunch of YouTubers lined up that I'm going to reach out to each one of them. Like I have New Stripe City. He's going to put together, we're working on a collaboration where he's going to give me a video about Carl Lawson. So we'll get an insider's perspective. Same thing with Jay. Jay sent me his video on Jared Davis already. I just have to make my end of the video on it. But we'll get to see some inside thoughts. I want to talk to UCF Jaguar about Keelan Cole. I think that's an interesting move from the New York Jets perspective. I know he loved it. I saw his live stream reaction to like that one-handed catch he had. Whew. Really cool.
All right. Well, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I just thought it was a crazy option that I could totally see happening.
Dude, I love the call, and I love the outside-the-box thinking. Thank you so much for the call, and you have been ejected from the cockpit. All right, boys and girls, we have reached the end of our show. It has been a lot of fun. A lot of fun hanging out with you guys. I will be back here tomorrow night with Green Bean and O'Leary. We will be talking all about the trade, how we felt about, how we feel about the Sam Darnold truthers and believers out there. I know Matt's fired up. I can't wait to see his rant. It's going to be Banana Land. Boys, I've had a lot of fun flying with you. And girls. We got some girls out there. Like, 1% of my viewers are girls. So, there's that. Thank you so much for tuning in, ladies. All right, boys and girls. My name's Ryan. I've been your pilot. Catch me tomorrow, 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock for the Talking Jets panel. And we will be live for the NFL draft all 3 days. Make sure you hang on and watch for that because we're going to be giving away a ton of good stuff throughout the stream. Boys, my name's Ryan. I've been your pilot. J-E-T-A.